Good afternoon, everyone. This is Kalyani. Welcome to COP27 live coverage, and today is the Decarbonization Day. We have two lovely guests over here. Can you please introduce yourself? Yeah, Amin, yourself.
Hi,
yeah.
my name is Amal-Lee Amin. I'm Managing Director, Head of Climate, Gender Diversity and Advisory at British International Investment.
Sure. And yourself, Ms. Singh?
Hi, I'm Arvana Singh, and I head up Sustainable Finance Solutions at Nedbank Corporate and Investment Bank, South African Bank.
So thank you once again. And my first question is how to accelerate decarbonization through climate technology innovation. What do you think?
So technology is going to be key to driving the net zero transition, and I think all countries now need to be looking at putting in place the right policy incentives, but also I think there's a big role for governments to start to invest more public resources into the technologies that are going to be needed, but more importantly to really unleash and catalyse the private sector to come forward with the innovation that is so feasible within this context. And I think there's a lot of opportunities and also a critical role for ourselves to be financing these, particularly these early stage opportunities to help accelerate them into the markets where they're most needed.
Sure. How about you?
I think research and development needs to continue in the space to ensure that we're always at the forefront of getting the most valuable tech, and there has been strides made in that regard with the likes of new sectors such as green hydrogen, etc., and the trick is to always ensure that we can effectively minimize carbon emissions and be at the front end of technology there.
So where do you think the biggest innovation is going to be coming in from, both from developed, Amin from UK perspective and Ms. Singh from Africa's perspective, I mean especially South Africa's perspective. So where do you see the biggest innovation is going to happen? Thank you.
Yeah, well I think here in Africa generally, I think there's very great potential for green hydrogen. Given the very strong solar resources in many parts of sub-Saharan Africa, wind as well, particularly here in Egypt, green hydrogen can be produced very economically, and I think that's going to be key then to decarbonising many other sectors such as manufacturing. We're seeing here already manufacturing of green steel, as it's been referred to, fertiliser production, green ammonia. So all of these, I think there's huge potential, and we're already as BII starting to look at these opportunities here in Africa.
The BII is a British investment institute.
We're the UK's development finance institution.
Perfect. Yeah.
So we're DFI and impact investors. So we look to really drive impact for sustainable development across our markets where we invest.
Perfect. And Arvana, where do you see from South Africa's perspective? Yeah, especially from the Nedbank's perspective.
Sure.
Yeah.
There's massive potential still in renewable energy and embedded generation. We've had a recent unlock where effectively there's no license that's required to generate projects. Previously this license was in place in terms of an approval if you had to generate over 100 megawatts. With that cap having been done away with, there's a lot more potential to actually unleash a lot more renewable energy in the private sector. In addition to that, there's definitely opportunities in the vehicle sector to effectively start to transform that into cleaner sources of energy that would power that particular sector, which is congruent, I think, as well with the plan that the government has out. And effectively between renewable energy, our energy vehicle sector, as well as hydrogen, there's a lot of scope there, as well as green residential buildings and properties as well.
Yeah, the real estate as well. So one last question to both of you. What is the big idea to take away from this COP compared to last year's COP, and where do you see the biggest investments will be going into after this, after the COP is finished? Thank you. Yeah.
So I think this COP27 is around implementation, implementation of all the commitments that were made in Paris and then reinforced and further developed in Glasgow. And I think what we've seen over the recent years, and particularly here in Sharm el-Sheikh, is the importance of the private sector and the importance of ensuring that the solutions, the innovation, and of course the finance that the private sector can bring really needs to be accelerated and scaled, and that the conversation, I think, has very much moved now in that much more real kind of real world conversation around what really needs to happen for implementation. So I think coming into COP27, but certainly coming out, that's really where the focus is, and that will be across many sectors, many technologies, and all countries.
For sure. Ravna, from your point of view, what will be a big key takeaway?
Yeah, I think definitely agree with Amal around the implementation aspect.
Yeah.
I think that's where we're all heading towards. I think there's been a number of these particular discussions, and now it's really the time to implement. I think what was really great about this is I think there's a deeper understanding for where each sector of the economy and each sector of liquidity can play a role, whether that's blended finance, donors, DFIs, and commercial finance. And I think with that, armed with that knowledge, hopefully we can all collaborate and work together to find solutions.
Sure. So before we end this, Open Exchange TV audience are mainly investment managers, fund advisors, and asset owners, big-time asset managers. Do you have any key message for the audience? I mean, from COP. Amin?
Yeah, I think as Arvana said, now is the time for collaboration, and I think the role
And investing in more into the green technologies. Yeah.
Exactly, and the role of the investment community in helping bring the solutions, and also helping to drive some of the development needs that are going to be needed. So as net zero commitments are made, it's critical that the focus is also on development and getting finance to emerging and developing
Keep moving
economies.
in And Ravna?
Yes, it's really about using the scale of the investment markets to drive this capital allocation. Because that's where we're going to need a lot of the finance is going to come from. And I think they've quantified that particular need, and there's a significant ask here. And the investment markets play a key role in that.
Thank you so much to both of you, and good luck, and hope to see you soon again. Take care. Bye.